Oh, what a week it's been for Sonic Forces, hasn't it?
Mm. Well, Sonic news in general.
Well, Sonic news in general, but Sonic Forces being the actual bread and butter of everything.
Yeah, along
Uh,
with a few other things.
Good. Okay. I'm going to break this down to two things. One, we're going to talk about what we see, and two, we're going to talk about the aftermath,
Yeah.
since that is a completely new kettle of fish.
Yes, it is.
I really got to stop these analogies.
No. Analogies is always good. That's how you get through life these
Hmm.
days.
So, from Nintendo Direct, specifically a Japanese one or English, depending on which way you found it, some footage showcasing Sonic Forces, and obviously nothing we haven't seen before, the trailer, the modern footage. But we also got a about 5 seconds worth of Green Hill footage featuring classic Sonic.
Hmm. Along with a very quick sneak peek at the third titular character.
Which is nothing more than a silhouette, and everyone has been saying, "Oh, it
Yeah,
looks like
yeah,
Bubsy. It looks
yeah, yeah,
like Bubsy. It's gonna be Bubsy, isn't it? No,
yeah.
it's not
Well,
gonna be fucking Bubsy. Stop doing that one joke, okay? It is done. As soon
yeah.
as the Sonic Show and Sonic Stadium or whoever made that one Bubsy meme, that's it. As soon as you read it, it was dead. It was no longer funny.
Well,
And everyone's going, oh, it looks like Bubsy. Let me do my version of a Bubsy meme of Sonic Forces. Sure. I had a live stream and
you really got angry very quickly
I
to
got
this.
angry because it quickly became an annoyance.
Yeah, well, I
It,
had it did take it wasn't too long before, and people say that, and again, we'll probably get into it when we get to it,
it
but
got
we
even
should.
worse though because apparently a games journalist not only said, "Oh, the Sonic fans been having rough for a decade," in which case, go fuck yourself. I guarantee you haven't played a damn Sonic game since Sonic Adventure One.
Yeah, well, this is what we mean by the sort of the outcry that's been happening
Yeah.
recently.
So pretty much, if any games journalist out there is watching this, although I very much doubt you are,
You
if you
never know.
want to get an opinion on the actual franchise, play the damn games. Don't just take it second hand. Oh, the Game Grumps didn't like it. Well, that's the Game Grumps.
Yeah, they're meant to. They're doing it for jokes. Calm down, kids.
Yeah, just I fucking hated that article. I really did.
I don't. I know.
I
I know.
decided to go into showcasing who Bubsy is. Like, why the fuck would you give two shits about a bygone attempted mascot character to rival Mario and Sonic?
Yeah, put it this way. It's basically put it this way. Imagine this. Yukazar sat down with the gang and saying, what we need to make Forces a really big new thing is we need to take one character that was possibly a rival, but really nobody cared anyway, and quite frankly was a bastard anyway. We should do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what's the new character? Oh, it's Gex. We're gonna bring Gex to the Sonic franchise.
Well, that'd be weird. That'd be super weird.
Yeah.
Then again, you never know. Danny Jones might get a call to say they want you in the Sonic game. It's like, why? Well, apparently they want you to do that lizard thing again. Really?
I would rather it be either Sparkster from Rocket Knight or Klonoa.
Hmm. Because again, it's interesting. Because all right, one thing I'm going to bring up here is that just before this came out, we did had an interview with Yukazar who told us little things about Forces and Mania. The main thing was that yes, it's still in development. It's not going to be dark. Don't worry. And you're going to see more of the game at E3. But he particularly pointed out that the third character isn't Boom Sonic.
Yeah,
And
I was upset with that because
I was again, I was a little bit.
I was more or less miffed. Really, I'm really miffed about it. And
Yeah,
for those who
again,
don't know, miffed is basically confused.
yeah, but again, it's kind of that. It's slightly disappointing because again, I felt like again we've said this over and over again to each other and whatever, but it's kind of the attitude has been this classic modern and boom, and those are the three distinct versions of Sonic. And again, there has been this attitude at the minute that Sega at the minute, or the higher up people, whoever it is, I don't know, because again, we don't know. There are some good people at Sega and there's some twats at Sega. Just saying, the businessmen are twats, but whatever. But again, it's this attitude that they're trying to rub Boom a bit out. Again, we said this before with how the TV show's been handled, the comic series has ended. We've only had 3 games, one being a massive mess up, and 2 being handheld games that most people are like, whatever.
One was meh, one was, huh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by that. Is that people's attitude to it was like, eh. But again, I'm just kind of curious if Sonic Team are they just want to sort of push it away, whether they're no longer interested in it.
Well, basically Sonic Boom is it's the American Sonic now.
Yeah, it is. But
So
again,
even though Sonic is basically more popular in America than Japan, That part confuses me, but
yeah. But again, it does make you wonder a bit exactly like why the reason they wouldn't want to have him, because again, his gameplay style is different from the other two anyway. So whether or not they want to do, again, whether this is them totally coming up with a new gameplay gimmick, for Forces, or whether they just want to have similar traits of Boom, but they just want to have their character in there, I don't know. That's kind of the attitude, or kind of that's how I thought
even out of the line, and it actually is.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the other thing. I think this is either a brand new character or a bring back of an old character, which again is interesting that some people keep bringing up, like maybe old concepts from Sonic 1. Or it's a big ruse to say, yeah, he's coming back, we're just totally messing with you guys, which I'm hoping it's that. I'm hoping it's going to be like that.
Yeah, and some people are also saying that the third character could very well be brand new or something, but it does say specifically unexpected.
Yes.
Not new, not an old one, just unexpected. So it could be numerous characters that were completely forgotten to time. It could be Knack the Weasel for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny because even from the silhouette we got, I mean, it's funny because from my view, I know you said before, it's like for me, it's kind of like a cross between Blaze and the brown cat from Sonic Boom, one of the villagers that's hanging around.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a mix of those two.
A lot of people say it's the blue one. So can we expect exploding ice cream dispensers?
Oh, him, the Mirage one. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is the exploding ice cream
carts. Carts, that's the word.
That's the one parlor, and the one that's the Mirage as well. But hey, I did see somebody made a funny point. Actually, I think it was Game Explained. They kind of said that maybe this is an alternate version of Tails, but then again, you have to take the point out.
The only alternate version of Tails that minutely existed at the time was a Tanuki version. But then, like I said in my Blue Blood, I was quickly rubbed out to be a fox because Tanuki Mario 3. So, as far as the character goes, we don't know. There's a three possible reasons. One, it's a completely new character. Two, it's a ruse to actually throw us off the scent of Boom Sonic. Or three, it's an OC creator.
I was going to say that is the other thing I've been thinking of, because this whole idea of they could introduce the idea of like a creator characters thing in here, and I know obviously in some cases we've sort of joked about that, like thinking, oh god, that's like the worst end of fandom, when you go on DeviantArt and other stuff. But on the one hand, it does make you think, well, think about it. You could use if you did have that, you can switch each character's abilities up. In the same way, like, I remember Lego Star Wars 2 did this, where you could custom create your own character. So, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see if they were going down that route purely from a gameplay-wise, not just in obviously art-wise, they'll come up with their own ideas.
Say the third character plays an important role in the story and embodies the overall features of the game. So right now, we don't have a definitive.
The main thing is we're coming off is basically we got to find out until E3. That's the main thing. Wait until then.
I guarantee you'll be flooded with reaction videos from it.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of reaction, we might as well talk about the first time we get to see Classic Sonic in this state.
Yeah, running through what looks like a very desert-looking green hill.
And already people have been losing their shit. Not in a good way. In fact, it's been the opposite effect.
Yeah, people... First of all, my only complaint of Green Hill is that the Green Hill we see in Forces looks worse than one in Generations. It looks flat, it looks lifeless, there's no energy to it, it just looks wrong to me. Even the 5 seconds gameplay footage, which, grant you, is not a lot, but it just doesn't look right to me. But other people have had such a negative reaction to Force's Green Hill that it's on the same level as the reaction to the revealed trailer of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1.
Yeah, that or the way.
That is how negative the fan reaction was to this.
Yeah, basically we're getting another holy fucking shit, kids, let's go ape shit type deal.
And the amount of people who just switched their gears from hype to disdain about
dismissive. Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's gonna suck now. It's got Green Hill. First of all, it's Sonic, okay? It's gonna have Green Hill. It's gonna have a variation of Green Hill no matter where you fucking look at it.
This is something I actually want to bring up.
It's probably where Sonic lives. Third, if it's oversaturation of Green Hill, we've seen so much of Green Hill. The Sonic Stadium did an article. It's by Hogfather called "Yo Ho Ho Green Hill Giant."
Yeah. That's something I want to bring up actually. But continue.
Yeah. So how many in the past 5 years, 6 years continuing? How often have we seen Green Hill?
And this is me, the actual Green Hill.
The actual Green Hill.
Hmm.
Generations, Lego Dimensions, but that was just like an adventure field.
Well, it's two really. You get an act in Green Hill Zone first, then the adventure field comes afterwards.
Yeah. Sonic Runners, I guess.
Kind of, but based on the artwork.
And Sonic Mania, which only about the main part the main part of Act One.
Yeah,
is
and then it
Green
switches
Hill.
up. Yeah,
Act Two is completely fucking different.
Yeah,
but it's still called Green Hill.
Yeah, although apparently the big thing with Mania is saying that we're using unused concepts for that game. So there you go. There's our excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I really want to get on, like you said, the Sonic Stadium article by Hogfather. I mean, he kind of pretty much, again, think of this as the audio version of what he says. Basically, he gets to the point is basically the reason why people are getting annoyed at it is not because, oh, it's Green Hill. It's not because we're doing Green Hill Zone for the 700 billionth time. It's that we're so used to that aesthetic. It's been used so much as part of nostalgia for Sonic. And I know you've complained about this for years, that one problem I think Sonic has been having is relying so much on the nostalgia of Sonic 1, 2, and 3, pretty much using Green Hill Zone as the main base. You know, we're not just talking games, we're talking advertisements, retrospectives, t-shirts, toys, all that stuff. You know, we've seen Green Hill Zone so many times, and when it's used on stuff that isn't, like Lost World, everybody bitched about saying, you know, it looks great, but again, it's like
Windy Hill is Green Hill. The thing is, we've had a variation of Green Hill in every single freaking Sonic game. Emerald Hill is Green Hill. Angel Island, not really, but Mushroom Hill could be technically be Green Hill.
Yeah, but that's the thing actually is worth pointing out, because again, it's sort of basically, as we said, most of the Sonic games have the sort of trait is, and you start at a very tropical level, you know, most of the 2D games do, and then you end up in very industrial ones at the very end. And the 3D games kind of swap around these a few times. But it's interesting when you think about the idea of how many times they've used that as the main sort of, again, when someone says to you, name me Sonic's world, they would think of Green Hill in the same way you think of Mario, it's Mushroom Hill. It's the Mushroom Kingdom. Sorry. The Mushroom Kingdom, sorry.
We're half right.
Yeah, but sorry. But again, it's like, look at Super Mario. I mean, how many times, you know, I've complained about New Super Mario Brothers, you know, pretty much it's been reusing that same aesthetic. You know, it's basically, that's no different from the last game, which is coming off from Mario 3, which is going off Mario 1. They pretty much use that as their entire basis for the Mario franchise. And again, after a while, you're going to get a bit sick of it. In fact, best example I can give is when we did that whole episode about the Daleks. I know, again, my complaint with the new Daleks was not because they're different, they're taller, and different color schemes. It wasn't that. It's the fact you've not given them a chance to do anything with them. You haven't allowed to do the whole class thing as a story, or maybe explore different ideas with them. You just pretty much said, no, we don't like them, fuck off, and we're just stuck with the gold Daleks again. And trust me when I say, when they bring them back for each subsequent story, you're going to get bored of it if it's going to be the same thing for the last 10 goddamn years, if you've not changed it up a little bit. And again, that's for me is the worry about this whole ordeal, is that this is the first time now I think the fandom has actually gotten is actually getting a bit pissed off of the nostalgia factor with the series. Yeah. And as we said, that has been one of the main things that's kept Sonic going for a long time. Is especially
the past 10 years now.
Exactly, yeah, because again, everybody's attitude when they do something new, it's immediately hated, get rid of it, just ruin everybody involved with this, you should be sacked and get your heads chopped off type attitude. That's, you know, not reality. Obviously, people wouldn't really do that, but that's the way the internet acts.
And pretty much that's how some people reacted when there's like the ending of Mass Effect 2 or the story of Dragon Age 2.
Yeah,
but exactly. Mass Effect 3, sorry. Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, 3. But I was going to say, that's the attitude people have, is like, you know, obviously, when you're doing a series that's ongoing like this, you want to try new ideas. But I think, again, it's that attitude of they're scared to try anything new. They're just, every time they try a new gimmick or a new idea or a new bit of visual, it's immediately going to get slapped in their face, say, no, get rid of it. And I think this is the first time we're starting to see that really starting to grate on people. And I'm very worried about this because, like we said, it's that if they're not daring to do anything new visually or gameplay as a Sonic, then that is arguably going to be its biggest downfall, is that not trying anything new is going to make the series rot in a bad way. Not just in, we tried a new gimmick, it didn't work. It's, we haven't tried anything new.
considering the reactions to nostalgia on Kickstarter. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
Mighty Number 9 was basically funded by nostalgia. It's like, it's Mega Man again, just played by Inafune, who is quote unquote the father of Mega Man. So it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't. Then Bloodstained comes out. I'm not too sure what the hell happened with that. And from what I'm hearing about Ukulele, it's just a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with those, I think it's interesting because, again, the other day I was talking to someone who worked on Broken Sword 5, and I did talk to them about how they worked on the game and what their attitude was in the final product. And it was interesting with Broken Sword 5 because I think all the Kickstarter games based on nostalgia, the thing with BS is that it's clearly saying we want to return to the games of the past, Broken Sword 1 and 2, basically. And I would say it's pretty much like the equivalent of putting a pair of familiar shoes that are brand new. Essentially, it's this. You've had your old shoes for many years, they're worn out, the soles are ripping out, then you get a new pair of them. They're almost exactly the same as the last one, but you kind of want to see what's new with them, and you want to go places with them that you haven't done before, you haven't taken them before. And that's kind of the attitude with that game for me. It's like coming back to a familiar place, but you still want to see what new little tweaks or quirks that they can add on.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are looking forward to Mania more than Forces at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Mania's attitude is that it's trying to do the Sonic 4 thing again, is in you think you know it starts off like, okay, it's how the original games did play like, and then we throw you into whole new areas.
Well, basically, that's another thing about almost Green Hill. Splash Hill is Green Hill as well. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. It's that, again, 4 was pretty much the whole point of 4 was basically you think you know this level, but you don't type deal. And again, it's this really surprise to me how many people got angry. In fact, getting back to the footage, actually, when I watched that footage, I did notice, first of all, visually, I mean, Green Hill looks a bit more blocky this time around.
To me, visually, it looks like Lost World.
Exactly.
It's like a slightly more detailed, less random Mario blocks together, windy hill.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, actually, one point is that the director for this game actually is from Colors and Lost World, so he's doing Forces.
Yeah, the Wii version of Colors, and he did the design of Secret Rings and Black Knight, which a lot of people say, oh, that's bad, but he directed Colors. And you're saying to you, that's the best game of all time.
Exactly. Well, like you said, just because, again, we said Sonic Team's got 2 groups, and they can mix and match whenever they want, really. And again, it's interesting, because what I've seen of it, I had a feeling, and I don't know about you, but I've rewatched it. In fact, some people have done comparison videos and slowdowns of it. Tell me if you feel that's actually from the finished game.
It doesn't feel like it to me.
No, I mean, I looked at it again, and there's just things about it that doesn't feel like that's not quite finished yet. I mean, first of all, there's a moment where Sonic runs to an edge of a platform, and the spring pops out of the ground, and that happens in Lost Worlds, but I feel like, now there should be spring there already. And the bit where he runs past the bridge with all the robot fish popping out of them, I did feel like that looks more like a test of just showing how this works, the bridge falling down and the piranha fish coming out, rather than, that's going to happen, that's just a set piece moment, because they would have tried to make it more visually interesting.
The only argument against it looks like an alpha or it looks like a beta is that it's been in development since Lost World.
Exactly. So again, this is probably what we've seen of the footage is still them saying, we got a playable level. It's not done. I mean, we haven't put all the bells and whistles on yet, so calm the fuck down, kids. But like you said, we don't know until we actually get to see it at E3. Until then, we're pretty much going to speculate to death what exactly Green Hill's going to be involved in, whether this is in the present, the past, how much. I mean, again, we don't even know how much of the level is going to be in the game. It could be just a small segment of then totally new areas. Yeah,
it could be, because if you look at the trailer again, like I said at the beginning of this, it's a sandfall, not a waterfall. There is a pyramid in the background. It looks like Sandopolis just instantly merged with Green Hill. Who knows how long this will look like Green Hill before it becomes Sandopolis, before it becomes a, I don't know, genocide city, at the top of my head.
Exactly. I mean, again, I'd be interested to, with the sand gimmick, whether or not as you're going through the level, the sand actually rises up. So you have to do this sort of excavation of getting on top of the hills to actually escape from it.
Yeah, so 5 seconds of footage equal to the same reaction people have with Sonic 4. And
every other bitching,
as far as the story goes, and as far as the level design goes, we don't know where it's heading.
No.
All we can say is wait 2 months, okay?
Yeah.
Wait 2 months, look at the gameplay videos, look at the new trailer that comes out, and then get a more stable opinion on it. not just it's not for me.
And you have to see this in context as well, because we're not seeing this how the game actually plays it out. So we don't know how it's all going to look or play.
Because it's not like going to be like generations where people hack the demo and like, oh yeah, these levels are completely picked by random, not picked by random, but put in order of the game's released, and also from a poll that was put on Facebook.
Yeah, but that's literally just people literally sneaking off of the fucking game rather than, waiting until to be surprised.
I was so pissed off when they told me, like, oh, people hacked it and just go to level list and Crisis City's in there. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but let's put it this way. They actually make Crisis City fucking work.
Yeah, they make it good.
Yeah, so there you go. They've learned their lessons, kids.
Yeah, I'm still kind of hung up on what Blizzard says, but still.
Yeah, but you get the idea. I mean, they have improved. I mean, we can definitely say that. So again, wait until it's done and wait until the demo of the game at E3 comes out and don't nick it, for God's sakes. Otherwise, Aaron Rebel will come after you.
Don't hack it and spoil it for the rest of us. I guarantee
otherwise, Aaron Rebel
a demo will come out on Sonic's 26th.
Otherwise, Aaron Rebel will come over your house and force you donuts down your gullet.
Yep.
So be warned, kids.